What's up, guys? Excalibur here. Pretty well, interesting day enough. FOMC, I was a little biased heading into the day. Kind of caused me to fail on a few trades. Basically, just had a one-sided day, just all straight buying. Um, Not 100% sure it was buying. I'm pretty sure it's shorts covering, kind of a short squeeze. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But um, definitely had a trend day. We've been chopping. You have the chop. Eventually, you have one trend day. Trend day down, chop, trend day up. So we'll see. Just go through the couple plays we took. First was Nvidia. Nvidia sold off after hours. Um, Looks like it had a really nice push, but I was looking at the right here. When we have these big candles sell off, you kind of want to look at these possible areas of sell off where we come back, touch them, and then continue to sell off. Just unfortunately, I think a lot of Nvidia was just strong. Probably had to do a lot with AMD. AMD was up like $10, $8, $9 today, which is crazy. Probably was a really good day to get in the shares on AMD if we continue to head up. But we had this area of sell off where we had, you know, this big candle. I like to take this fair value gap of the candle. Or you can even take the fib. I do the fair value gap, not the fib. Fair value gap right here, which is just the complete, complete sell-off. I should have recognized that, it did reject that halfway. We could tell we came down and then we pushed straight through it. That's the buyers taking over that area where the sellers were, and then we just come back up and we just continued up. We did get a little tiny rejection here. I don't think I timed it very well. Just not enough to get get in and out right here. That was the rejection. Of course, this is on a lower time frame. That's why it looks a little better. I think I had it on a. Try to figure out what original time frame I had on this. That's what I kind of lost on it. Uh, my supply I think was probably like a 4 hour right here, and we didn't reject here. We kind of rejected the kind of a lower time frame. Our initial rejection was, we just pulled through. We had it at the top. But, with this play, I admit I did make a few mistakes today. Um, should have set my stop loss just right above here. And I kind of held on to it. And then we kind of held underneath last week's VPOC, which is volume point control, which is last week's most traded volume, vertically. You could tell we kind of held under it, and then that push up is when I decided to cut it. And then we just continued up. Definitely should have looked kind of back and looked at the overall market of this. ES was continuing to go. Semis were strong. AMD was definitely showing no signs of weakness. So, I definitely should have kind of looked back. I even told my mentorship in the pre-market notes that I was most likely going to stay away from NVIDIA just because it was going to be tricky. And then I had the bias that I was going to sell off. And that's where I kind of got caught. We had that NVIDIA. We had a quick little Microsoft call. Didn't really do supply and demand on here. We just had this, I was taking this same kind of same 4 hour zone right here for daily. I found the best one. Yeah, 4 hour, where we took those calls the other day, or we took those puts on this rejection here, kind of like I think yesterday. We had a nice little rejection off of it. Today's the 26th. So yeah, there was that nice little rejection that we had. Took nice puts off of it, and but it decided to go into it and kind of consolidate. So that's when I got into calls because when we consolidate in a new, we consolidate in a supply, it's going to either create a new supply or become demand. With the market going up and with trading ticks showing, I try to pop it up on here too. Trading ticks, show the net inflow of Microsoft yesterday was very, very strong. Try to find that right now. So, they kept buying calls all day yesterday. So that's when, I took the little call. It was a nice one. Scaled out nicely. You know, trying to get a little bit back of money that we lost. But this was the trade ticks yesterday. We just price continued up and calls kept getting bought. This is what the green line is called net inflow of calls. So there's more calls being bought than sold. So that means if the net inflow is going to be going up, your puts are sideways. So no one's really loading up on puts. No one's really selling their put position. So that was the play on Microsoft. I had a little quick XPX scalp that the scale out was really good, 10%. And then that was it. The runner went bad. We had a Tesla put, which, I had someone ask me why I got into Tesla. And the main thing was we had first this 700 area was kind of like a previous resistance, you know, support here, 700 hold here. 700 was holding here, but fell through. So usually former resistance becomes new support. And I was looking at that, the markets was showing signs of weakness. Um, Caught a nice little average down kind of at the top. And right here was the thing, but I was showing him kind of if you go to uh, it was extended on the 45-minute, which you had this base here. We kind of dropped here. Then we came up and actually touched that perfectly. If I take this off, this is kind of like a nice intraday setup where you have, you kind of seen the top, comes back up, touches this demand right here, which is here to here, comes up, touches it, and then continues to fall down. If you look at this at kind of a lower time frame, you can see that that's the boom. And it came up, touched it here, continued down. I think it was this one. I'm not 100% sure. Kind of confused on that one. I had it drawn out perfectly, but that shows, you know, kind of the end of the day. So something going into tomorrow, which was very interesting. If you pop up your daily volume point of control, which is the volume on the vertical axis, you can tell very interesting. Most of the volume traded today, yeah, it was mostly sideways at the top, but most of it's up here. Usually you'll see like kind of a B shape where you have a lot of volume down here, pushes it up, and then you kind of have the cells here. So it's very interesting that a lot of these, the volume point and control is at the highs, which is either just probably selling or, a lot of people are saying shorts covered here, you know, um, if a shorts covering rally is not, it makes the market weaker. I'll kind of touch on this on what someone wrote. So we had a P-shaped shape volume profile. You go to ES and look at yesterday's volume profile. You have a P shape, which indicates shorts covering. We cannot forget that short covering weakens the market, and the thing to observe now is if there is enough new buying interest in today's distribution up here. Distribution since most likely fueled by shorts covering rather than new buying. So, people shorting the market had to buy back in shares, to cover their shorts. So that's why we pushed up. It's not people buying in, it's kind of just shorts covering. Um, we left a very large access to the A-shaped that sellers will target weakness develops. Don't know what that means, but um, ES we had pretty solid move. We'll just go through ES. We had this little triangle breakout, but I don't really follow that much. We just had this nice sell-off. Something I kind of learned, made a mistake. I had this daily demand here, and we, you know, had a little rejection from it. See, so 26th. No, we didn't have, the daily, we didn't have anything. We were actually in it most of the day. I should have began to start to drill, keep drilling it down. You keep drilling down supply and demand. Then you can tell, the daily demand is really, it's not the best right there. And you kind of keep drilling it down throughout. And what I really want to find is a facing candle in front of, the big sell off. And this is what it should have been. It should have been a 3 hour. And that was the top today. Before that, there was no no supplies. That was kind of the highest supply up. So that was, kind of my thing. Little mistake I made. I journaled it down, wrote it down. You always got to learn from your mistakes, guys. You know, man up, woman up, learn from your mistakes. I showed my mentorship group. I'm like, we made a nice little 1 hour base here. If we did come back down, I was gonna look to go long, but that never happened. And very interesting. I don't know what happened with Bitcoin right before market opened. That thing dropped. And then I got a little bias. I was like, okay, Bitcoin's gonna lead the way. It dropped and it recovered very, very well. So, you know, always got to stick to your plan. VIX, I was telling people on VIX, we had, we're kind of still in this triangle. That doesn't count. Um, here's that. We had this pivot here, and that was the main thing. You could tell we kind of all day kind of rested below it, and then we finally had, drove below it with force right here, right after open. You know, then it stayed, VIX was definitely very different than the whole market. The market seemed to push at once and then kind of go sideways, but you could tell VIX is kind of a little wavy, compared to the market. Like a pop up VIX here. And that's weird. I don't know why. Let me do. I should have did different. New price scale. Oh yeah, there we go. So you're looking at the VIX and the and ES. I can't move those. I wish I could move that so I could get them close. Tell VIX kind of had a nice push up here, and then you could tell ES really didn't. When VIX pushed up, ES should come down. ES didn't come down here. Very small compared to VIX. Then VIX had a big drop, and ES really didn't push up very well. So it really didn't go as normal. Definitely very interesting. But VIX, the plan was for us to hit this supply in this triangle and then kind of pop up. I thought we'd push in the Wednesday and then dump into the weekend. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't know how people are going to open positions going into a long weekend, but you never know. You never know in this market. But we did hit that pretty nice end of day, and kind of end of day. We could have kind of capitalized on those puts in the close. But hopefully, if VIX stays in this triangle, it should go up, which means the market should come down a little bit, and then we're getting to almost a breakout. We have to keep this right here. We have to keep that pivot, 25.51, for us to continue this trend. We're just going back and forth, back and forth. But overall, today was just a simple trending day, one direction day, which is not what the market's given us the last couple weeks. We've kind of, been up and down, up and down. You could play this, grab calls down here, grab puts. You're making those 30, 50% plays. Today was just straight up. If you caught calls, congrats. Um, you know, journal down if you guys lost money today. Journal down what your mistake was and what happened, whatnot. But I think we're finally gonna get our first red week or green week in what 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So we're finally gonna get our first green week unless we completely sell off 4% tomorrow. Which I mean you can never know. Monthly is gonna close Tuesday. Monthly as at 4144, which is going to be a huge push. If we do push tomorrow, we have Tuesday. We're still going to have 2 months red with a new month opening up. NQ, I kind of, NQ's kind of been leading the way, and we didn't hit any, we hit the daily, but I really should have had kind of this up here because that's when the sell off was. I don't these higher time frames you kind of miss those sell offs. In SPY, should always be should always be checking SPY and ES, and this is where SPY right here, that gap down supply, that's huge right there, showing a lot of strength. We broke this previous pivot, this one's definitely strong, so I'd be surprised if we do get over this. If we do get over this, we're definitely market's looking very strong tomorrow. This should definitely be a pretty strong supply. We hit it and kind of sold off nice once and then had an end of day sell off. So it's pretty much going to do it for me. Tomorrow's going to be a little trickier with the extended weekend, but let's just try to kill it again. Finish this week out strong. Let's finish this month out strong. We're doing crazy good in this month overall. Today wasn't bad. It was 2 for 2. Basically caught my first loss with NVIDIA of the week, so I'm not complaining. 12-4 in the week. Make it sound bad, but I have my expectations. But appreciate you guys joining the YouTube today. I might just do YouTube tomorrow and not do a Discord. That's why you see like when I'm on that, I'm kind of in a background chatter and we kind of chatter. Kind of need to get away from that, but definitely, guys, appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys go to my Twitter. I do give good information on Twitter. I'm gonna start doing some Twitter Spaces and start doing some more educational charting on Twitter. And then definitely need to get my TikTok going and like and subscribe to this video, guys. The subscribe button is just a simple click. You don't really have to do anything else other than that. But I appreciate you guys, and we'll get at I'll be on at 8:30 again tomorrow. Thank you.